I think I'm just gonna start. People can come in as they come in. Okay, so what are we doing today? We had GP Direct. That came out. So I should have linked that in this video, actually, but, we did a showcase. Short Odyssey was part of it. I think it went really well. A lot of people watched it. And we showed off a lot of other people's games. I'm trying to find a link to it right now. So I can show that off. Whoopsies. That's not supposed to happen. Okay, let me just adjust this so that... whatever. I guess you'll see my first, So here's the showcase here, for graphics programming, GP. We had a crazy intro for it. If you haven't watched it, you can watch it on their channel there. There's ASO right there. Anyway, just a little ad there. You can watch, you can go ahead and watch, GP Direct when you're ready. But I thought it was cool. I thought it was a lot of fun. And today, we're going to work more on the engine that we showed off there, which is a short Odyssey. Actually, I think we're going to work on some game stuff, actually, gameplay. So, one of the things I wanted to work on today, we have cannons. Let me go find one. Cannon on the wall here, probably. Actually, it looks like all the cannons are down here. But anyway, I'm gonna... Let's put a cannon right here. 1 second. Just move it into place. So, cannons are very cool, but we have some serious limitations on them. So right now, we can fire them, right? We can kind of move them side to side, but you can't really aim them up and down. So, it's very hard to hit enemies with them because of this. And now we're being chased by enemies and we don't have a weapon. Ouch. So, what I want to do is I want to add some ability to aim cannons basically up and down. So, I think we're going to work on that today. So, I'm going to go some flat spot over here, and we're just going to spawn a cannon, and I'm going to look at it. So, we're going to see how we're going to implement this. So, we're going to create a new cannon. I think I just called... We have the naval cannon as well, which is just a slightly different variant here. And then we have regular cannon, which is like a field cannon. Now... So you can see that there's like actually some like markers and stuff on here, and that's what we're gonna mess with. So there's this little dot that shows where the cannonball is gonna spawn. So if I... Actually, if I go into here... And then I hit cannon fire. We can step ahead. Actually, it's gonna fire in like 2 seconds. Why is that? I have a delay on my thing. So yeah, you can see it fired there, right? We can do the same here. So, what we need to add is some way to move this. So this is where the cannonball spawns when it starts to fire, and this is the direction that it goes in. So, what we need to do is have some kind of way to move this point up and down, so that we can aim the angle. So I was reading about stuff, and I believe that I need to call it the elevation angle. I thought it was the azimuth, but apparently that's incorrect. Yeah. I think it's supposed to be called the elevation angle. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna add some parameters here that we can mess with, and we need to go into the C++ code to add those. So we're gonna do that in just a second. Let me get some let me get my IDE here. We're gonna quit out of the game, and then we're gonna put on some background music. Let me grab that. Here we go. Let's turn that down a bit. Oopsies. Okay, so, as this is the Thursday stream, we do have some form of coffee, and we have more Japanese canned coffee. I'm gonna try every brand, I suppose. Because, you know, I mean, other countries can make coffee too. It's just Japan, for some reason, puts them all in a can. But we have UCC this time, as featured in Neon Genesis Evangelion. So we'll try this. Yeah, it tastes like Japanese canned coffee. It's like overly sweet. It's fine, I guess. But anyway, we're gonna get to it. So, we have a struct for the cannon. So we're gonna go to cannon. Cannon has several parameters, but we need to add some more of them. So we have a muzzle position, we have a firing direction, and the firing direction is going to be like a vector that does the, basically that controls what the normal, firing direction is. But I actually think we need to get rid of firing direction, because what I'm going to rename this to is, so we have the muzzle position, and then I think we're actually going to have the pivot. So I'm going to actually go into GIMP, and we're going to draw this out, what we need to have. So, right now, let me use red, I guess. Red always looks the best on stream. So right now we have our cannon. Why is that not... Oh. Mode. Yeah, RGB. Okay, there we go. Turn that up. And then turn the opacity to... So, we have our cannon here. Right? So, basically, what we have right now is we have this point here, which is where the cannonball spawns, and then we have a direction that it goes in. What I want to change this to is I'm going to create a pivot point here instead, and then a spawn point. And then the vector is just going to be the line between these two normalized, I suppose. So probably here, length 1 or whatever 1 is. So we are going to remove the ability to specify a... And we're obviously going to have to, like, tweak the cannons after this, because, like, all of them were done using this before. So we now, instead of muzzle position and firing direction, we have muzzle position and pivot position. And that is going to be set to 0 by default. And we're obviously going to need to modify our JSON thing. And then we're also going to need elevation angle. And this is going to be basically how many degrees... I mean, not degrees. It's actually going to be stored in radians, because everything in the game is stored in radians. But anyway, this is going to be the parameter that we have to adjust when we're aiming the cannon up and down, is the elevation angle. So, Where do I want to put that? Okay, so we have 4 bytes of padding here, so we can just let's go fit in one more float, pack that perfectly. So, that way, I can do float, my, elevation angle. And that's gonna, by default, equal to 0. So, basically, 0 degrees means it's firing straight forward, right? And then it's gonna go positive is up and negative is down. I think that's gonna be the way it's gonna work for aiming it. Now we need to go to JSON serializer. And we're probably gonna have an error already because we renamed that. Okay, so we just need to now serialize these 2 extra things. So the elevation angle, that's gonna change at runtime, but all these other ones, I think we're mostly just gonna... cannons added. Well, yeah, we actually had them before, but we are sort of tweaking their, the way they work. So actually, I'm just gonna go ahead and hit compile here because it's gonna give us a bunch of errors. So I'm gonna go to editor SVP, and we're gonna find the cannon and we're gonna tweak the fields we just changed. Yeah, they were already in the game. I mean, they've been in the game for a while, but they're kind of annoying to use because basically you can't really aim them very well. They're very hard to aim is the problem. So we're fixing that now. So this is going to be called pivot position. Pivot position. And now elevation angle. Sorry. Cool. So, now we have some... There's a function called fire cannon. And that's obviously going to need to be tweaked because the logic is going to be different now. So, here we have firing dir. But what we're going to do now is calculate the firing direction. So, because we still have the 2 vectors. So, we're going to do... Firing direction is now going to be equal to cannon. Oh, sorry. So our firing direction is equal to cannon dot pivot position. No, we're gonna do cannon dot muzzle position minus cannon dot pivot position. Dot pivot position. And then we're gonna do, put that in brackets. And then we're gonna do dot normalized. So that's gonna be in the range like 0 to 1, basically. I mean, it's gonna be equal to 1. The actual total is gonna be 1. The length of the vector. Anyway, so. I think that's enough to be able to make a compile, but we're gonna need to add our elevation angle and all that. So. Okay, what's our error here? Oh, okay. So this is just drawing the firing direction. So I think we can, because we don't have that anymore, we don't need to draw that. Is that it? Or are there other errors? So. Yeah, so I think basically, so what we're doing is we're going to rotate around this point here, right? So, like, let's say we go, like, elevation angle 45 degrees. Sorry, it's more like, that's 45 degrees. It'll move to here, which will put the muzzle position here. So basically, what we need to do, and we're gonna do that in our cannon our fire cannon function there. So okay, so I'm gonna now spawn a cannon, and we're gonna see we're gonna be able to fire it. I'm gonna increase the text size here just so that you guys can see it a little bit better. Where's my text size? It's here. Okay, so we got this cannon here. Actually, I'm gonna move it to somewhere where the crabs aren't so that we can more easily see what's going on. Oh, shit. I might have spawned that into the ground. Whoopsies. Sorry, we'll spawn another one. There we go. So, what we're gonna do now is, so you can see now that we can just fire them. And now we have our extra controls here. We have our elevation angle, but as you can see, that doesn't do anything yet. Because we need to do some more math, and oh, we should also draw our pivot point, I suppose. So we're gonna need to be able to specify the pivot point and the angle here. So gonna go ahead and quit game here, and we're gonna add the rest of the things. So we add those two components. We can still fire the cannon, but we need to sorry, let me, yeah. Oh yeah, the angle's all messed up here because, look, it's firing, like, straight up because we broke the, thing. But anyway. Instantiating entities from JSON is very cool. Yes, yeah, it's very handy. It's basically the same format that the map is in. You're basically loading, like, a tiny map file into the whole world. It's actually not just one entity. There's actually 3 entities here. We have the wheel. We have this wheel. We have this main cannon body, and then we have this other wheel, because they rotate when you push the cannon, right? They're like spinny wheels. Okay, so we're going to quit out of here, and then we're going to do the rest of the math that we need to do. So, first of all, we're going to add a... we're going to draw the pivot as well in the editor here. Hey, Tutu. Yeah, we're just working on some cannons here. We're making them aimable, which is gonna be fun. So, now we need to basically use that elevation angle to do something. So what we're gonna do, so we have this muzzle position. So what I'm gonna do is actually gonna do auto firing position, basically with respect to the pivot, or firing vector, I guess, which is not the firing direction, because the direction is normalized. So what we're then gonna do is we're gonna do firing vector is equal to, we gotta make a quaternion. Quat from axis angle. And then we're gonna put a vector, which I'm gonna use as the local x-axis. So I'm gonna do CO math, right. And that's just the x-axis there, which is, you know, 1, 0, 0. So if you were trying to wonder what my coordinate system was, I'm left-handed. We're doing left-handed Z forward, Y up. So that firing vector is that, and then we're going to rotate it by the elevation angle. So cannon dot elevation angle multiplied by, I guess, yeah, multiplied by the firing vector. So that's going to rotate it. So then the firing direction is going to be this. Why is that all grayed out? Oh, just the thing catching up. So I should probably put this into a function so that I can, like, use it as a... so that I don't have to, like, redo this math in the editor. So I'm gonna go ahead, and this is gonna be called vec3 get rotated firing direction. And I guess we are putting a little bit of math in the header file, but that'll probably be okay. So, or get rotated firing vector. So this is gonna be muzzle position, and that's gonna be pivot position. And then we're just gonna return this. So then this is gonna become cannon dot get rotated firing vector. So now this should apply the rotation correctly. And oh, hola. We need to add basically our firing vector needs to be rotated. We're just gonna draw this in the editor right now. I think that's what we're gonna do. So we're gonna go back to editor.cvp, and this bit where we draw the cannon now. So this muzzle position, instead what we're gonna do is we're gonna get the firing vector. Then that's gonna be cannon. Oh, actually, okay. So this is gonna be cannon dot pivot pause, and also because we're doing we're basically just gonna add the firing vector to the pivot position, and that's gonna be where our thing gets drawn. So now, if we run that, that should show us what's going on. Oh, also, I suppose technically we could do firing vector here. Dot normalized to show the direction. So I'm actually gonna stop that build, and we're gonna restart that because I changed some stuff. Okay. So I'm trying a new search engine. Has anybody heard of Quant? Apparently it's French. I don't know. It's interesting because it does seem to be giving different search results, at least, than Google, which is cool, and different than DuckDuckGo, which is what I normally use. But, you know, just because all search engines are kind of crappy nowadays, so I'm just trying a different one. It does seem to have issues sometimes loading. I wonder if that's, I don't know, just being French. You know, they're taking a break to drink wine or eat cheese or some shit. I'm sorry, I'm being mean. Yeah. So that's compiling. Are you using DirectX, Yaniv? No, I am not. This is OpenGL, which is, you know, just another another API that is available to you. Honestly, it doesn't really matter what API you use. They're all kind of like... I mean, like, some of them are more low-level than other ones, like, but, Ecosia. Interesting. That's another search engine? Let me look that up. Ecosia. Okay, of course it's German. Of course it's German, because you mentioned it. Wanted to give Quant a try too, yeah. Interesting. Alright, maybe I'll try that one at some point too. But yeah, it is really interesting that, like, basically everybody used to use Google, but, like, now, like, everybody's trying to use other search engines because, like, Google is, like, absolutely ass right now. And then Google didn't... I haven't used Google in, like, months, but didn't they, like, recently change a bunch of shit and, like, basically now, like, the AI is, like, always running or something? I don't know. Annoying shit, I'm sure. But yeah, Google's been pretty bad for a while. Like, at least the last 3 or 4 years, for sure. Probably longer. Like, I remember, like, 10 years ago, you actually used to be able to find shit on the internet. But, like, nowadays, like, all search engines just, like... We're just inundated with a bunch of crap that's, like, completely useless. Like, you search for something... Like, I search a lot of stuff about gardening, because that's, like, a hobby of mine. And, like, you search, and then there's, like, the first entire page of results is, like, AI-generated LLM slop that was, like, published in the last, like, month. And I'm like, come on, guys, where did all the articles that people wrote, like, years ago, like, go? It's, like, it's not, like, how you friggin', you know, plant... something has changed so much in that time. It's like, I don't need super up-to-date info. It's like, give me old results. That's one thing. Like, I feel like search engines tend to weight towards things that were published recently, which I think is really bad, because just because something is recent doesn't mean it's more valuable. In fact, nowadays it seems to often be the case that the old shit is better. Even for, like, especially for graphics programming, actually. I mean, like, yeah, I mean, actually, with graphics program, it's, like, a little bit of a mixed thing, because, like, there's, like, some old shit that I'm like, I remember seeing this shit on GameDev.net years ago, and I can't find it, and it was really cool, and then I'm like, I can't fucking, I don't know. Yeah, it's really bad. It's really bad. But anyway, what's hopefully not bad is our cannons. Am I right? Let's do some, let's spawn one here, and let's see what happens. Sorry, I'm just gonna delete this guy. Oh, actually, let's... pause enemy AI so that they don't attack me. So I am going to spawn in a cannon. Cannon here. Okay, so we need to adjust some things first because the pivot point has defaulted to the origin, which is actually not what we want. Are you building this game engine completely from scratch in custom modern C++? Are you integrating... Okay, so, the graphics is OpenGL, like, it's, like, so it's a custom renderer using OpenGL. We will eventually get a Vulkan backend, but I think that's a while off, because I'm busy doing other stuff. We do have some physics engine stuff that is provided by Bullet. Unfortunately, I would have liked to not have had to do this, but I did have to modify Bullet quite a bit. Anyway, we're just putting the pivot position right on this pin here, so that we can, when we rotate the... Okay, so yeah, now that you can see that we did that, like, as we adjust this, you can see that the firing vector changes too. So as I was saying, so yeah, I am using some libraries by people, which is like, you know... It's like a cost benefit thing. Every time you add a library, there's a bit of a... Sorry, I'm gonna adjust this so it's right on... Shit. I feel like this is not sensitive enough. I feel like I need to make the... yeah, we'll deal with it later anyway. So I'm gonna go ahead and save this prefab here. So now if we change the elevation angle, what happens? Oh, I should do that more. Okay, so it appears to be working. It's rotating around that point, which is exactly what we want. It's not, however, rotating the actual mesh, but we could deal with that when we get there. So I'm going to set the elevation angle to 0. We're going to save this and see if it fires straight. So there we go. It has fired it straight. So let's try changing the elevation angle to... Sorry, this is in radians, so the thing is not going to make much sense. But I should probably, for drawing it, I should convert it to degrees for display. So yeah, you can see we changed the elevation angle. Now it went more up. So now we need to deal with rotating the actual mesh. Yeah, this is how you make progress. You do like little bits at a time. So the also we're gonna need to be able to like control the angle like from the game, but we'll get to that. Right now I'm just trying to make sure all the math is working. Yeah, we're gonna see if we can how do I have this set up? So I have this mesh here, which is the I'm just trying to find it's okay, it's literally the first element here is the thing that we need to change. So, this guy is not in. Okay, so I actually don't think we need this animator anymore. What happens if I remove that? Okay, safe. Because this used to be using skeletal animation. It turns out we didn't need that. So I'm simplifying it. So what I think we need to do is we're gonna basically create a new entity here and apply the rotation to it, I think. So I'm just thinking, I'm thinking. Yeah. I'm just thinking which component is actually going to be the cannon. Is it going to be this body part here? Or is it going to be this gun? I think... So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to, like, literally... I'm just thinking... I guess we got to apply the rotation to the mesh. So let me get the music back on. And just, I'm thinking how we're gonna do that, right? So, I mean, why don't we do it in the stupidest and least efficient way possible? Which is often the best way. So, we're gonna go to, gameworld.cvp. And we're gonna do, we're literally just gonna, we're gonna go into graphics. We're gonna go to visual update. Okay, so here. So, this is why this is gonna be silly, because what we're gonna do is we're basically gonna go, we're gonna take a view of, basically all the cannons in the scene. I'm just looking at what where we should put this after, probably after update graphics transforms. Yeah. So, and after physics transforms as well. So, probably around here somewhere. Right after, I'm gonna put it right after bone constraints. But we can move this around. But anyway, what I'm gonna do is this gonna be called update cannons. And the reason why this is inefficient is because this is done every frame. We're gonna find all of the cannons in the scene. Items, cannon. And the ones that also have a cannon and they have a mesh. Render mesh. So, we're gonna take the... Also, we need a render transform. Sorry. So, render transform. So, we got cannon, transform, we got and mesh. So we're gonna take the transform, and we're simply going to... Okay, so we're gonna need to rotate it around the pivot position. So we're gonna do... Sorry, we're gonna set the rotation, basically, to the, to the pivot position. We're gonna set the rotation to the angle from the pivot position. Okay, so, I'm just thinking, I'm doing math in my head. So, we want to basically rotate it around the pivot position. So trans dot position, so auto pivot. Okay, so here's we go. Here's how we'll do it. We'll do a Well, here's our axis angle that we're gonna need. And that's gonna be cannon dot elevation angle. So what we're going to need to do is transform this right vector into the global space of the... into world space. So we're going to do transform dot orientation multiplied by the right vector. So basically, we're going to move the right vector into world space. Then we're going to rotate around that, if that makes sense. Then we're gonna do so trans.orientation, so auto rotation vector. So rotation equals that. And so now the orientation, I could be getting this wrong because I always fuck this up, the order that you rotate, the order that you multiply the quaternions in. So those of you who are not familiar with linear algebra may not realize that the multiplication operator is not always reversible. And in the case of quaternions and matrices, it actually does matter what order that you have a multiplication. So if you multiply a matrix or a quaternion, the order actually does matter, which is not the case for a scalar or a vector. But anyway. Yeah, let's just see what happens here. This is basically just gonna offset whatever mesh by the angle here. So, yeah. Interesting. As always, we are waiting for compilation again. If anybody's news watching and you haven't seen the GP Direct Showcase, we are in it. Short Odyssey is in it, and you should watch that, because there's a whole bunch of cool games and engines that people have made. We are only one of them. Once again, you can watch it on GP's channel right here. We have an amazing showcase. I'm just plugging this again because it's an awesome video, and the order of quad multiplication confuses me so much. And here we go, Short Odyssey right in there. We are GP. No engine, I mean engines, but we made the engines is the point. So yeah, watch this video, GP Direct 2026, fantastic showcase. Are we done compiling yet? Probably not. But let's get back to our background music. Okay, actually, we've compiled. Perfect timing. So, I'm expecting some weird transforms to happen because you liked the No Godot. Yeah. Yeah. Let's get Arcana here. I expect some weird transforms to happen because, okay. A weird transform has happened. And we're spinning now. In strange ways. So, what happens as we adjust the elevation angle? Okay. Okay, so it's going backwards, it looks like. So I'm thinking it's also not rotating around the pivot, it's rotating around 0, which is to be expected. So there's a pivot that needs to be added there. So actually, we need to subtract the pivot, rotate the pivot, and then add the pivot back. I think that's what we gotta do. Or subtract the pivot, rotate it, then add the pivot. I think that's it. So, this is kind of working. It's actually no, this is working with the angle. So pushing it down. Okay, cool. So that's kind of working. The only problem is not pivoting around the right thing. So I did get my order correct, it would appear. But let's take a look at what's going on here. So what we need to do is we need to take our pivot, auto pivot world space is equal to transform dot apply to canon dot pivot position. So this is our pivot position world. We are then going to subtract. So we're going to do trans dot position is equal to, and I think this needs to be done. This needs to be done before we. Okay, sorry. So, our pivot world, minus our, so we're going to subtract the pivot here, or maybe it's the other way around. I think it's there. Okay, so we're going to subtract the pivot, we're going to rotate the thing, and then we're going to add the pivot back. So we're going to rotate. Oh, okay, wait, okay. Here's how it is. Okay, so we subtract the position from the pivot. We rotate it around our rotation axis here. And then we add the pivot back. I think that's how it needs to work. So let's try that and see what happens. I also need to go into the editor. And I'm just gonna make this display in degrees so it's a little bit more intuitive. Canon. Sorry, let's get the music going while that's... Oh shit, that's the GP Direct music. I wanted my playlist. Where is it? There we go. So, here we go. So elevation angle, I'm gonna need to do a... Is there a slider angle? Ooh. Okay, cool. So this is actually going to automatically convert to... This is automatically in radians, I believe. So I'm actually going to stop that and recompile because we have... I believe that does the radian to degrees conversion for us. I hope. And it's going to default to plus minus 360. I think. Yeah. But I think probably what we want to do is we're going to probably do minus 90 to plus 90. So yeah, it's VRAD, which I believe would imply it's radians. Let's see what the comments say. Is there a comment above this function? Slider angle. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I think it's going to convert for us. It doesn't exactly say, does it? Yeah. It would be nice if they just had a comment that says what it does, but apparently not. Alright, how we doing? Alright. We almost done there? I'm actually gonna go ahead and where's my Google? I'm gonna go ahead and insert a link to GP Direct in the description here in case anybody wants to see that afterwards. GP Direct. See us in the showcase. Or see ASO in the showcase. Okay, cool. So there should now be a link to GP Direct below this video. If people want to check that out after you finish my stream. So yeah, what do we got here? Let's see if this works. So we're gonna get our Canon again. This is our prefab browser. Canon. Ooh, something's not right here. This doesn't look... Ooh, we're spinning. All right. You can go away. So something's not right here at all. But we're gonna figure out what that is. So we got our Canon. We're rotating around... It looks like we're still... Wait. Oh, so we are rotating around the pivot. But it looks like we have some offset added that we don't want, which is probably... So we have some added... So we are rotating around this point, the pivot point, as you can see. But yeah, we have an extra offset that we don't want. And I'm wondering, is Is it that we don't need the pivot world? But then it's not gonna... I'm thinking. Yeah, so this is our pivot point right here. And then if we go plus 90, minus 90. Because the amount that it's offset by literally just looks like the pivot. So, what I'm gonna do is simply quit out of here. Oh, I see. We need to add the position, not the... Okay. I think that's it. Because we subtracted the root. We needed to add the root back, not the pivot position back. I think that's where we screwed up there. Or where I screwed up, I should say. Yeah. Alright. Where's our music here? So, I mean, obviously there's clearly still issues happening because this... We had the weird spinning, which should not be happening at all. And I'm not sure why that's happening, but we'll find out. We'll find out. I'm thinking that there's something else modifying the position, modifying the transform, and we're going to have to figure out what that is. Okay. In the game. Where's our cannon? Okay. Still something weird. Always something weird. Okay. Cannon. Okay, that's still not right. It doesn't look like it's rotating quite around the pivot. It looks like now it's rotating around the... Interesting. What happens if I just add nothing? So this is going to be the pivot minus the world position, then that's going to be some small amount. Where am I going wrong here? Maybe... Okay, so let me just draw this out. So, what I've done here is I've taken my, so let's draw our friggin' Cartesian coordinate system here. So we have this point here that we want to be the pivot, right? What we've done, and so then we have our origin, let's say here, right? We want to rotate around the pivot, right? So, we subtract the pivot from the origin, which gives us, so we subtract the origin from the pivot. Oh, maybe. We need to subtract the pivot from the origin. I see. Subtract the pivot from the origin, then add the pivot instead of what we had before. So, I think that's it. We'll see. So normally I would seem a lot smarter than this because I would have done all this math off stream and then come back and shown it to you. But because we're doing this all live, you can see me struggle with mathematics. So hopefully that's a relatable experience. So yeah, if you ever see somebody like being real smart about math on the internet, it's like, just know that like, you know, it does actually take some thinking to do, you know. Don't feel bad if you don't get it immediately, because even though, like, I think I'm somebody that's like relatively good at math, because like clearly I can build this thing which requires a lot of math. But you know, just because I'm good at it doesn't mean that I don't also struggle, you know? So just think about that the next time you are struggling with math. Everybody, even people who are theoretically good at it, do also struggle. Okay, this is looking good. This is looking promising. So, I think this is it. Cannon. There we go. Rotating around our pivot. Perfect. So, here's what we're gonna do then. We're gonna set this to 0. Now I'm gonna separate these two things out. So I'm gonna save the prefab. Okay, so how do we have this here? We have, so I'm going to duplicate just the body, I think. So the duplicated cannon, what do we have? Actually, that's not what we wanted. Oh, now we just have these disembodied things here. Okay. Because basically, what we want is another cannon, basically, inside this. So I'm gonna duplicate it, and then I'm gonna remove the prefab. Right? Then this cannon here, so I'm gonna call this cannon body. We're gonna find cannon, so this guy, this guy. Then we're gonna also select the cannon body. Actually, the other way around. We're gonna select the cannon body. We're gonna hit save prefab. Now the cannon body is part of this prefab. Or I guess this should be called, instead of cannon body, this should be called cannon, barrel. So, we're gonna remove the collider for the barrel. So, yeah, we got cannon, barrel, wheel, and we got that part of the prefab. Okay, cool. So, now, the cannon body, which is this main component, which is also the instantiated for the prefab. We're going to remove the interactable. We're going to remove the sound. We're going to remove the cannon. We're just keeping the collider in the mesh, but we're going to take the mesh, and we're going to hide the cannon part, like the actual barrel part, because we're only going to do that in the barrel. So cannon barrel. Now, you can see that when we rotate, oh, something's weird happening here. Ah, it's spinning. Okay, so that's wrong, but looks like it's being applied every frame. But anyway, basically, we're gonna now hide all of these other components of the mesh that aren't the barrel, right? So now we just have the barrel, and you can see that that's, for some reason, rotating on its own. But, you know, it's a good start. I don't know what the... But, yeah, so that's rotating. We're going to need to probably modify the mesh, because the pivot point... Or I guess this is... Oh, shit, something's happening. Yikes. Okay, sorry, I need to set that back to 0. 0? Uh-oh. We need to undo that. Okay, there we go. Sorry, I'm going to delete all these things. We're going to spawn a new cannon prefab here. Because I think we've screwed this up a little bit. Yeah, we're walking right through that. Okay, so, cannon, again. So, we have our barrel here. So, once again, the barrel is just the cannon part. And we're going to save the prefab, which is this guy. And we're also going to hide the barrel from here. Ooh. Okay, so where is the barrel? Barrel. Oh, somehow this guy got moved to, Okay, interesting. Well, we're gonna save the... Actually, shit. I didn't mean to do that. We're gonna save the prefab of the cannon, not the barrel. Remove. Save prefab. Okay, something's... Our cannon barrel is not being... Yeah, that's fine, but the place it's being drawn is weird, I guess. So somehow we're getting, like, accumulated transform here. No, I'm just trying to see why that would be. Basically, this is changing the render transform, not the actual transform. And the render transform should be updated by the game world transform or the physics. Oh, because it doesn't have it. I see. Okay. Here we go. Let me think. So, I believe, actually, so I'm gonna move this. We're going to put this after update attached items. Because what we're gonna do is we're gonna make this guy an attached item. So, we're gonna take the cannon here, sorry, the cannon barrel. We're gonna add a, attached item. Oh, yeah, it's under animation for reasons that I can explain later. Attached item. And we're gonna set the attached one to this guy, which is 4933 cannon. Where's our attached item? Oh. Cannon. Specifically... Wait, where's 4933? 42975. 42975. That's the one we wanted, actually. This cannon. Okay, there we go. Now we're gonna go to the cannon. We're gonna save the prefab. Then I'm gonna quit out of the game so that we can recompile with my adjustments. And then, hopefully this will work. We'll be able to change the orientation and everything will work. Yeah. So just waiting for that to compile. Okay, looks like that is done. So let's get back to the game. I think our compile times are a little bit better than they used to be. I could still do with them being faster. You know, you can never compile too fast when a bunch of people are waiting for you to say stuff on stream and sound smart. So yeah, okay, there we go. Now, let's see if this works. We'll take our cannon. Ooh, actually, the cannon barrel is the one that I want. So we're getting it. So cannon barrel. I see. So, okay, there we go. There we go. That's nice. Okay, cool. So, something's not quite right. Something's not matching up perfectly. It's almost there. Like, look, the, Anyway, we can deal with that a little bit later. But anyway, I need to get to... Let's set this to 0 degrees to begin with. 0 degrees. We're going to pick this guy. We're going to remove that cannon. Remove the interactable. Remove the sound. We're keeping the mesh. We're keeping the rigid body. We're keeping the transform. Save prefab. Now we got cannon barrel, which is just the stuff. We're going to actually remove the rigid body. We don't want the rigid body. We do want the sound, though. So save prefab. Or sorry. Select this guy and save prefab. That's some UX thing that I gotta fix. I need to make the save prefab button not exist if it's a child prefab. Right? A child prefab that doesn't have a prefab. Anyway. I'm gonna pause enemy AI. There we go. So, now, let's see. So we're gonna fire the cannon. Fires more or less straight. It's gonna take a second to cool down. There we go. I don't know why that didn't make a sound, but we'll deal with that later. Okay, so that's... Oh, probably because... Okay. I think I know why, but we'll deal with that in a bit. So, pick our barrel. Now we're going to change that to elevation 45 degrees. Like, just type that in. 45. Now it's going to fire, like, pretty much straight up. Although, something's clearly wrong here because it hasn't... Okay, so this is being drawn in the right spot here. But it doesn't look like the cannonball is spawning in the right spot, which is interesting. So... We're going to go ahead and fire the cannon again. Yeah, look. So, this is being drawn here, but it looks like the thing actually spawned here. Like, something's just a little bit off, is the thing. Also, this is shifted over for some weird reason. Might be because it's the attached item. Ooh, okay. I think I know now. Okay, so... Attached item. I'm going to check Effect World Transform. Then I'm going to select the cannon. Save prefab. And now I'm going to see what happens. Hey all! Hello. Okay, something's still not quite right. Show wireframe. So the cannon barrel. Okay, so the cannon barrel. This is... Well, now this is being drawn in the right location. We're just not spawning the... We're just not spawning the actual, projectile in the right location. It could be that... Select this guy? No, this guy doesn't have the interactable. So it is firing from this guy here. We're making so we can aim the cannon up and down, but... So the angle is working, it's just not spawning the cannonball at the right position. So it could be that... It looks like it's spawning the cannonball where the old, unrotated barrel was. GP... Oh, you did watch the GP Direct. Nice. Yeah, yeah, we had a trailer for ASO in there, which I think was cool. We're gonna use a variant of that for our Steam trailer. I keep saying the Royal We. Actually, it's a little bit weird. Anyway, I'm gonna use that for the Steam trailer. Or, like, a variant of that. I just gotta do a couple edits, and then we're gonna pop that on Steam. Which is going to be our updated trailer. Yeah. By the way, if anybody hasn't done that, you can wishlist the game on Steam. It's below. Okay. So yeah, it looks like it's being spawned right here. And the angle is being... The angle is happening, but it's like... It's just starting at the wrong position. So, I mean, it could literally just be... Okay, so... How do I set this up in game? I'm going to go to my fire cannon. It could literally just be that my code is wrong here. So, fire cannon, go to definition. Okay. Where are we spawning the spawn position? Okay. Here's why. Okay, so muzzle position. We actually need to do get rotated fire. It's gonna actually be, we literally do this in editor.cp. What do we got? We got cannon in. Okay, so I literally do pivot position plus firing vector. Got it. Got it. Okay, so go back to our cannon, fire cannon. So the spawn position of the thing is going to be this, but instead we're going to do cannon to position, pivot position plus firing vector. Dot. Cool. Now, I hope that should work. Let's redo that. Let's compile. And now it should hopefully spawn it at the right. And then we're going to need some like UI in the game for actually controlling it, which is going to be interesting. Like some button that we can press in like in the game to adjust the elevation angle. Okay. That was a fast compile. I didn't think it would be so. I guess items.cp is pretty small. I hope it actually did compile. Like, I hope we actually, yeah. Cannon, as always. Okay, yeah, you can see it was saved at 45 degrees. So we're gonna go ahead and fire that guy. There we go. Firing from the correct position. We have our little friggin'. I mean, this angle is like, I don't know. I don't think they would have really fired cannons at this angle. I mean, maybe. I don't know. Like, that's more of like a howitzer type, like, position. Angle. Because, like, traditionally these were used as, like, direct fire. Like, indirect fire hadn't really been, like, a thing that was, like, invented yet in 1600s. But you can see the trajectory of our cannonball right here. Got its nice smoke trail behind it. And it is now firing at the proper angle, which is good. And now we can change our, we can find our barrel. Cannon barrel. This guy. And we can adjust its elevation, and it rotates around the pivot, which is cool. Exactly what we want. So we can bring that back to 0 degrees, and now it's gonna fire straight once it cools down. There we go. And now I'm gonna go ahead and save the prefab at 0 degrees. Okay, so there's a little bit more low-hanging fruit that we need to fix before we continue. And that is, we need to adjust it so that save games save the orientation of the barrel. So I'm going to go to savegame.cpp. And we're going to need to create a little chunk in the data, in the save game file for cannons. And basically, we're going to do cannon data. We already have it. And we're the things we need to save. What do we need to save? I think we need to save the. We also should probably save the cooldown. So I'm going to save the last firing time. Also, I'm going to put that first, and then I'm going to put the elevation angle. Elevation angle. So now we have to serialize this. So. Now, okay, I'm just gonna take this. Gonna do cannon data, elevation angle, and last firing time. No, elevation angle. And then what we're gonna need to do is we're actually gonna need to put that into the file. So, when we're, wait, we have our save entity function or something here, right here. Okay, okay. Basically, I'm gonna put this right after gun. Oh, actually, yeah. So I think we can simply take this guy, change it so that it's cannon data. Also, I should put this last because this should be in like a relatively consistent order, just for the serialization speed. I'm gonna put it right before the map source. So it's gonna be called cannon data. So actually, this is if it has a items cannon. We are going to do cannon data. We are going to set the last firing time to cannon dot last firing time times its epoch count, and then we're going to set our elevation angle to our cannon's elevation angle, and then that's going to get written out. Now we need to deserialize it when we load the game, like from somebody's save game, like they were playing and then they quit out to go, you know, outside and touch grass or something. So what we're going to do is we're going to basically take this guy, and this is going to be cannon data. So if we read that, we're going to basically take this. Actually, where do we deal with a timing thing, because we need to restore the time. What is this? Oh, that literally just... Okay, cool. It's literally just the spawn time. Oh, okay, because the game tick. It's a game tick, so it should not matter. So basically, what we're gonna do is we're gonna call this C data for cannon data. So basically, if we find a cannon data in the save file, we're gonna do, and then we also need to make sure that the actual entity that we're deserializing is also a cannon, because it's possible that I changed the. Basically, this load save code is designed to basically handle like me changing the game, like the components in an entity since somebody made a save. So like if I update the game, I don't want to break everybody's save, right? So I need to basically do checks to see if I still have the item, the like components that are necessary. So we're gonna do cannon dot last firing time, or I guess C dot last firing time is equal to this. Ooh. It's a co-time point. It should be a game tick point. That's gonna be some. Okay, gonna make that a game tick point. That should hopefully automatically convert for us, but we might need to do some casts to make sure that that all works. But anyway, the last firing time is going to be equal to that, and the elevation angle is going to be elevation angle is equal to cdata.elevation angle. Okay, now we're probably gonna get some compilation errors because I changed this to a game tick point instead of a code time point, but that's okay. So let's let that compile. Let's just see how the end spawner handles it. Yeah. Ooh, I think I need to set it to that. One moment. Yeah, in order for it to work properly, I think it needs to be initialized to that by default. So just that should hopefully deal with it properly. But we might get some compilation errors. We are getting some compilation errors. So equals, instead of get current game tick, I think is what we need to do instead. That should do that. Where else? Do we have some other errors? Basically, we just have some types that don't match up. We need to just adjust it so that they do. Believe that should... I think that's probably enough, but we'll just have to fix these things as they come. All right, almost done here. So I'm hoping that I can get some more sleep this week now that GP Direct is finally done. You know, I'll be honest, I'm pretty tired right now. It was great when we put it out, but I did have to be up like early to coordinate everybody for when we were going. But you know, it was fun to participate. But it did lose me a little bit of sleep, which was how it has to happen usually. Well, hopefully it doesn't have to happen that way, but you know, it is kind of, I mean, I can't really blame my boss for driving me hard because I'm my boss, or I guess YouTube chat is my boss sometimes. But it is sometimes we need to be more careful about getting rest and everything, but you know, it is I can't complain too much. I do get the I do get to wake up at 11. I get to start this stream at 11 my time, which is like much later than I think most people go to work. So, you know, I can't complain. All right, so I think that should compile now. We're just waiting for this to happen. So, we need to now look into being able to adjust it from playing the game. We need to be able to adjust where the cannon is pointing, right? So, I think, basically, what we need to do is find where we interact with the... So there's HUD.cv here, where we have some cannon... Okay, so we got this whole thing, which is return fire cannon. Then we got our one moment, I'm thinking. Okay, here we go. I guess we could just look on where we call fire cannon, but anyway. Let's spawn in our cannon. Cannon. So, I mean, I guess we can check to see if our, save game situation worked. So what I'm gonna do is, although I guess this guy won't get saved in a save game because he's not part of the actual map. We need to find a cannon that's already on the map, which we can do. We have a couple of those. Oh, shouldn't have gone there. Let's go to the fort where we have a couple cannons. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna adjust the elevation angle here. So we gotta get our barrel. We're gonna take the cannon and then adjust the angle to 24 degrees. We're gonna then save the game. Game saved successfully. We're gonna die. This is gonna take a while. This guy's not as strong as this guy. Yeah, he's gonna do a lot of damage to me. There we go. Yeah, they'll get me. They'll get me. Alright. Then, I'm gonna load a game. Oh, it didn't work. It should have saved the elevation angle, which it did not. So, there's clearly something wrong here. And I think the reason is because I think the save game didn't, so there's some test here, basically, for restore entity. Or, I mean, I guess for saving an entity, for serializing an entity, it doesn't always do it. It only does it if, So we have save... Oh, also... That's interesting. So the cannon, because it's a child... Okay, we're going to have to deal with this later. I'm not going to deal with this right now on stream. There's some nuance that I... Kind of a shortcoming with the way that I save things that I think is the reason why this is being saved. Because the barrel here is actually a child of the cannon, not the cannon itself. So, as a result... It doesn't have an actual save ID. So, see, this guy has a save ID. But if I actually select the barrel does not have a save ID because it's a prefab child, not the prefab itself. I mean, I could... Yeah, I'll just have to deal with this later. We can deal with this later. But anyway. Also, I just want to point out, do you see the nice reflection on his sword here? You see that little orange thing? Bam, it's this thing here. Pretty cool reflections, if I do say so myself. And just in case anybody's wondering, no, it's not ray tracing, it's just a cube map. Technically it's not a cube map, it's a, so if I go to my, view, show debug textures, we can see that we actually have a octahedral map, which is the octahedral map here is reflecting in his sword here, which is this guy here. Anyway, I just thought that was cool. But, so our save game isn't working, but fear not, I'll fix that off stream. But, we can, in fact, change the angle this way and fire it. Now we just need a way to activate that from the game, so we're going to add that. We're going to add that now. So, basically all we need to do is just when we press the button, we need to update the, actual angle, basically. So, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna find character.cp. And I believe, I actually don't know if we call it in here, but is there a fire or cannon? Yeah, we do. Okay, so we have this try fire cannon thing. Okay. Interesting. So, I mean, so the easiest thing would just be to have a button to make the cannon go up. So the annoying part is I don't really have a secondary... I mean, I do technically F is mapped to, like, secondary interact. But I don't have, like, a way to... That's kind of done in a very hacky way. I need to basically do... Okay, so... Actually. So we have interact and use item. So this just goes to our last picked up. Okay, so use item is like our secondary interact, right? But what we should do is, ooh, this is a little bit, So this is gonna run this function here. So what we need to do is, I'm just gonna hard code this for a minute, which is that basically, so in this use item here, we're gonna do this. Ooh, this is CH. Yeah. Okay. Cool. We're gonna get the closest interactable, and if that item, if the closest interactable basically, if the closest interactable is a cannon, so if closest interactable dot try get component is a cannon, this should really be done inside the... Well, we'll deal with it. I guess we could have a state for the player, which is to adjust... I'm trying to just figure out how I input... Right now, let's just keep it simple. Let's do, if we press this button, it's gonna move. So if the auto cannon... Basically, if we find a cannon component, we're gonna check for it. We are going to cannon dot elevation angle plus equals CO math degrees, 2 degrees. Let's do, actually it's got to be 2 radians because we're starting with degrees. We went 2 radians. We're gonna plus 1 degree on the thing if we, okay, and then we're going to I suppose we break if we do that. So let's try this. And let's see if the cannon actually moves when we press F. So I believe F should, the F key should make this happen. But I think what we're going to want to probably do is create a state for aiming a cannon, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and mute the music. We're gonna take this guy, our character, Luis here, and we're gonna move him up here. And we're gonna create a cannon. Actually, this is gonna be cool, because this is a thing that we can actually blow up this rock here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna spawn a cannon, and we're gonna try to aim the cannon at the rock. So, let's pause enemy AI just so that we can do this while we're... So, first of all, I need to turn this guy around so that he's aimed horizontally at the rock. So we're gonna basically fire. Where's our firing? Our firing thing isn't popping up. Why is that? So cannon barrel. It isn't interactable. It has a transform. Maybe it oh, okay, well this is working. Interesting. Every time we press this, it is adding... This seems incorrect, though. That doesn't... That looks like way more than 1 degree. Which is odd. But, also, we can't seem to fire it. Why are we not getting the interactable prompt? Interesting. Interesting. So I'm going to select this guy. Odd that we're not getting an interactable. Let's spawn this. Let's spawn another cannon and see why. Let's see if this guy works. So this guy's not giving us a prompt either. Is our naval cannon giving us a prompt? I'm just wondering if it's something specific to... Maybe it's something I busted right here. Remember this use item thing? Did I change something in the HUD? Yeah, I wonder why that's not... Anyway. So why is this not working? Oh, this is it's gotta be 2 radians. Too rad. It is way too rad. That's why. That's okay. So it was obviously applying the transform in the wrong direction. But yeah, I wonder why that's not popping up. Interesting. So we can rotate it, but for some reason the interactable isn't working. Why not? I mean, we're clearly getting the interactable. It's just, it's not giving us the oh, it's probably the cooldown. We screwed up the cooldown, I think. I think that's why. So, cannon.json here. It's the last firing time. That's the issue. So, I'm going to select the cannon barrel. We got our cannon. So basically, I think there's some, like, sign conversion. But anyway, if we... See, now we can more accurately change this. I'm going to pause enemy AI so that we can do this in peace. So, as you can see, we have no way to lower the angle, though, right now. We can only make it go up. But we can control it from inside the game, which is cool. Also, I'm going to need to adjust the model or the limits of the angles. So, because, I mean, yeah, we shouldn't be able to fire that straight up. But anyway. So, we have our tri-fire cannon, probably tri-fire cannon. Why is this not working? So it's this ready to fire function. This is now minus last firing time. So, last firing time is equal to the game ticks code time point min. So I'm going to do this in debug mode because we're going to need to figure that out in debug mode. Alright, so we got maybe... I'm just going to keep going because the stream's going to be technically... We're technically supposed to end at like 1 o'clock, but I'm going to keep going for a little bit until we at least get this cannon firing at the right angle. So, basically I'm going to fix this bug and then we'll wrap up. But, thanks for everybody tuning in, by the way. Very good stream. Good with the cannons. So I'm going to keep working on this, but don't forget to like and subscribe. Link to the Discord down below as well if you want to if you want to discuss the game there, or, you know, we also do playtests and stuff like that. And also, if you want to get a notification for when I'm going live, the best way is to join the Discord and tick for, get the live stream notifications roll, because YouTube can be very inconsistent at delivering notifications, because they hate you, I guess. Anyway, yeah, also, wishlist the game on Steam. So, let's get the... Ooh, geez, real big, big lag there for debug mode. Let's mute that. We got music going on. Okay, Cannon. I'm gonna pause enemy AI. So, we're gonna try fire a cannon. Or I guess ready to fire. Okay, so, this is returning... So, our cooldown time is 4,000. Our last firing time is going to be some big-ass negative number, which is the problem here. The problem... Yeah. So, our last firing time... So, how do we deal with this in the... So, this is game time. I'm just saying, how do we deal with this with the ent spawner? Because the ent spawner does the same thing. So, get current tick. Sorry, I'm gonna get my, last spawn time. How do we deal with this? Okay, so this finds the next spawn time. Is going to be the last spawn time plus... So I think if we simply reverse the way we do this... Basically, we're having some overflow. So if we do next fire time... Basically, this is going to do the same thing, but without... This should hopefully avoid overflow. So, plus cooldown time. So, if the current time is actually past the next fire time, is actually a better way of doing this. And that should be better. Because that should avoid overflow. Negative overflow. Because we could basically initialize the last firing time to some point, like, in the remote past, right? Basically, is how we're setting it up. Okay, why is this giving me a warning? Oh, cause it can't be made static. I don't know why it thinks we can. Anyway. Let's see if this works. Alright, so, mute that. Is this working? Okay, so we're gonna take our cannon. And we're gonna see, can we fire it now? There we go. And now, if we adjust... Yeah, there we go. So we can adjust the angle now. Fire it, and now it fires at a elevated angle, which is cool. So now... I just need to compile this in release mode, and then we'll try to hit our target, and we can see if we can do that. So yeah, this should add a lot, basically. Should be able to aim the cannons now. So let's just wait for this to compile. Alright, so simply waiting for a compilation here, as always. I kind of wonder sometimes, like, what portion of my stream is waiting for the C++ compiler, because I feel like it's a decent amount. I feel like it might honestly be like 25% of the stream time is me waiting for C++ to compile. Which sounds bad, but like, you know, normally when I'm not streaming, I'm making brain moves while we compile. Unfortunately, my brain turns to putty as soon as I turn on the camera, right? So, that's the problem. You do lose, like, a couple IQ points as soon as you start streaming. Yeah. Alright, here we go. So now, we're gonna try to hit our target. Yeah, so, because I kind of want to use the cannon for, like, some puzzles in the game. Possibly on the ship and everything. So I'm gonna go ahead and pause enemy AI so they don't bother us, but... We're going to take our cannon, we're going to point it at our target, and we're going to see if we can hit it. So, first we got to get the horizontal right. Oh, actually, we're real close. We're hitting just to the left. So we're going to rotate it at the time. Ooh, that was probably too much. Okay, so we actually want to rotate it down, but we can only rotate it up, so we got to turn it all the way around, unfortunately. Oof. So this is a little... We can't rotate it the other way, which is a problem. Accidentally spawn another cannon. What we could do is we can push... Okay, so here's my new cannon. We're just going to rotate this until it's below the target, and then we're going to push it up. I think that's what we'll do. So I'm going to push this guy forward. Ah, too heavy, too heavy. Moving very slowly. Okay, how's this angle here? So. It's hitting above. Okay, I'm just going to push this guy to be like there. Could we push it over the hill? Yeah, okay, that's better. More of a flat angle here. So literally just come on. There we go. There we go. Okay, so it's hitting just below where we want to hit. You can see because there's the shower sparks. So if I hit F, let's fire again. Okay, so one more. Okay, how did that not blow up, is the thing. Okay, we're still a little bit off. A little bit off our target. Oh, God. Okay, maybe push it a little bit this way. Unless it's just not doing enough damage to blow up the actual thing, because I feel like we are hitting it. It's just not being destroyed. So I'm going to take this destructible. I'm going to turn the damage threshold to like 0.1 just to make sure that we're doing like we're actually hitting it. Ah, there we go. So we did hit it. Okay, that works. Anyway, beautiful. We used our cannon and we actually hit our target, which is awesome. With that, I'm going to sign off. I do want to thank everybody for tuning in to stream today. It was really fun. We got our cannon firing. Pretty cool, pretty cool. Do not forget that you can like and subscribe and join the Discord and wishlist the game on Steam. Now, I'm going to sign off, but we still have more content you can watch, because if you haven't watched GP Direct, there's a link to the GP Direct below the video. You can see a short Odyssey in its showcase segment in there, and some other cool games that other of my friends worked on. So you can watch those. And then... yeah, I think that's it. Oh, yeah, also, if you want to financially support me, this is my only job. I make content for you guys, and I work on this game. And there is a link to my Ko-Fi down below there if you want to give me, totally optional, a small donation, $2, $5, or $10. That's usually whatever. So if you want to do that, there's that. And you can also, if you leave a message there, I'll read it live on stream for you guys. Whatever you guys tell me to say. That could be dangerous. But anyway, I am going, within reason. I am going to sign off. I'll see you guys on Saturday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Or I guess Eastern Daylight Time. Whatever. The YouTube YouTube will have the time, 2 p.m. Toronto time. YouTube will have the time correct, and my Discord server will have the time correct. So join the Discord server, get notifications for when I'm streaming. You can also get them on YouTube, but they're probably less reliable. But I'll see you guys on Saturday.